Oliver,
This
we're recording.
this sucks. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is terrible. You know what, Jeremy? I'm gonna let
Oliver,
you're gonna get to start this one today. What a treat, Jeremy.
we're recording, Oliver. God damn it.
Damn
Hello.
it. Hello.
God damn it, hello.
Certain people like to start the recording while I'm still midway through text.
Certain people like to tell me they're all ready and then apparently not be.
Well, you know what? I was ready. You didn't jump on it. I answered a text, and
I
now
couldn't jump on it.
Jeremy, this is unprofessional, right in front of the guest.
Yes, we have a guest today.
And now he's really uncomfortable.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Yes. This is our friend Ethan, who also goes by Sergeant Teper, who goes by Ethan Teper, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, I go by all those names. These guys also like to call me Earth. I feel like I have some other names that are buried in the cosmos somewhere. But yeah, here I am. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And one of the reasons that I had Ethan on, and we'll talk about it a little later, but Ethan is a really great musician. He's released a lot of really great music, both on YouTube and Spotify, that are available, and I'll link in the bottom here. But beforehand, how's everybody doing? I'm Oliver the Ricketts.
I'm Jeremy Kessler.
And I'm Ethan Teper. And
If you
I
didn't
am
already-
doing fine. Yes.
I'd like a counter on how many times we've said Ethan Teper thus far on the show. Because I definitely said it like 4 times in his intro, and then he said it a couple times just now.
I probably am not going to do that.
You're not going to say it?
Say it.
It'll all come together in post.
What if I asked you what his first and last name were, Jeremy? Then what would you do?
I am not going to put on a counter of how many times we've said it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you weren't going to say his name. Fucked up. Oh, we really hit the ground running on this one.
Yeah, wow, we did, huh?
As long as it's not a show like last week's show.
What happened last week?
Last week we thought we were going to get. Are you aware of dusting?
I believe I know what you're referring to, but elaborate.
So it's a Facebook group that Brittany is in, where you drop your address and then people bring you alcohol and like little tchotchkes. Very nice for it, due to COVID, I guess, brighten everybody's day. It's nice. So we thought we were getting dusted in the new place. So the whole like first half hour of the other show is us constantly looking out our glass front door, because I made the mistake of letting the show take place there.
Wonderful.
For fans of the show, my house has been dusted since then, actually.
Ooh. Was it by a dinosaur?
I have no idea. I wasn't there when it happened.
Well, so Brittany pulled up this video of like a dinosaur dusting, like a person in a dinosaur costume dusting a house the other day on last week's show. And I'm watching it. It's like, this is great that this person has a security camera, but what if they didn't? Then you just show, for instance, Jeremy's house does not have a security camera.
I mean, it's also if you get caught doing it, I don't know. It's just fun to be a dinosaur. Speaking as someone who has
authorities or caught by the person
fun.
who owns the house.
No, I think what he meant is it's fun to be a dinosaur.
Yeah. As speaking of someone who has a dinosaur costume, not one of those, but I have a different thing. It's fun to be a dinosaur.
Ooh. I don't have a dinosaur costume. That's where we're at.
I don't have a dinosaur costume either, but I have seen people in dinosaur costumes.
I'm just saying you guys are missing out. I have one of those. It's in my closet back
All
there.
right, pull it out. This will be great radio.
It's got it's one of those like onesies. You've seen it. I've worn it before. It's green and it's got a hood and it's got a tail. I've worn it.
Yeah, I think I know what you're referring to here.
I wore it to school one time.
Like a dragon?
I guess. Sure.
Dude, are you growing a mustache?
No, this is just how my hair is growing in.
Oh, word.
It's just
Okay.
more visible here because of the shadows on my face, I think.
You know who is growing a mustache? I believe. Well, he's growing like a goatee. But my brother, for the first time, is growing his beard. He's growing one out, but he's denying that he's doing it because he came over here the other day and he comes in and he has like a goatee, but it's still like pencil thin. So I asked him, "Are you growing a goatee?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "Well, why are you lying to me? I can see the goatee."
Yeah, because
Um,
that's a specific facial hair. You don't just like not shave and then only a goatee comes in.
Now, to be fair, he didn't have it like cleanly shaved on the sides, but the lips and the beard were longer than the rest of his beard. I don't know why he would hide growing a beard from me, but I guess he's decided that that's what he wants to do. And personally, I'm a little hurt.
Ethan, have you ever had a beard?
So I did try doing No Shave November this past year, except I got sick of it after like a week.
How long did it get?
Um, not to any semblance of like beard. Really, just the scruffiest I've ever been.
Hmm. I had to get a secret haircut during quarantine because all the barber shops are closed. But I know a barber who I can't put on blast here. But he was cutting my hair and he told me, this is really bad. I could be fined for doing this during COVID. Because you're sitting out in my backyard. He goes, "Listen, if the police come back here, we're boyfriends, and you have to commit to that."
Uh,
I said, "All
His
right."
haircut's on the down low.
Well, we couldn't have been brothers or anything of that. We had to be romantically involved for him to cut my hair.
Well, you guys probably didn't
Yes.
look anything alike.
Actually, well, my barber is an Irish guy who also
Don't give
has
away
the
too
beard
many
and
details.
glasses. So, oh shit! My barber is an African woman who also has a rainbow goatee and doesn't look like me.
Last
Even a
week,
little.
out loud, we said what town Oliver lived in. So,
Oh no.
Yeah, we were about this close to saying my address too, my brand new address.
The address of the official Oliver the Ricketts fan club.
Which brings me to our next topic.
hold on.
Everybody
Wait,
say your
hold on.
address.
Hold on. Are you saying that Oliver's house is the fan club?
I don't know. It's a place where the fans could gather to be as close to the source.
I'm actually more of a fan of more popular content creators.
Yeah, I don't follow people that aren't funny.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm funny.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Are you happy that all your friends leapt at the chance to agree with you that it is in fact only sometimes?
Yes. Well, this isn't all my friends. I know 2 other people. One of them gave me a haircut.
That's true.
Is it your friend though? Or is it your boyfriend?
Well, we're only pretending to be. No, I mean, yes, we're boyfriends. Sorry, Jeremy. I know your heart has been burst into a bit. Ethan, do you know that Jeremy and I are married now?
No.
Really?
We're not married.
Mhm.
No, we're not married.
We got married on the very first episode of this show because Brittany became a legally ordained minister.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very happy for you guys.
Did you know that you can drive by a wedding and the other person has no say in the matter at all?
Drive by a wedding?
No, drive by.
Like-
No,
wedding.
you can perform a drive-by wedding on someone and they're legally married to you for at least a year.
Huh.
So Jeremy
That's
and
a
I,
fact.
until December at least, Jeremy and I are lawfully wed.
This is not a true fact. Oliver is doing another elaborate ruse to try
I
to
was
trick me into
talking to-
kissing him.
I was talking to somebody from my office who listens to this show the other day. He goes, "I really like the show, man, but Jeremy is so afraid of gay." And
I'm not afraid of gay. I just don't want to kiss Oliver specifically.
I can't kiss you because we're being socially distant. But just so you know, we had a debate on this show just a couple weeks ago about who loves gay the most. And I said it was me, and Jeremy had the balls to say that it was him. But according to our audience, Jeremy actually hates gay.
Oh no.
Absolutely
Well-
untrue.
Well,
Not
Oliver,
wanting to
you know what
kiss specifically Oliver does not make me anti-gay.
Well, you know what you could do. Is,
I
Jeremy,
swear
you
to
could-
God, if you're about to suggest I kiss Oliver,
To
you could
prove,
kiss Oliver through the phone.
no.
You could
kiss
kiss
me in
Oliver
real
through the
life,
phone.
you coward, you won't.
You're
Fucking
right, I won't.
coward. Fucking. Bet you're pretty happy with yourself over there, not kissing me.
Yeah, when you put it like
your
that, I am
ivory
actually
tower.
pretty satisfied with how things are going.
What a bitch.
That's so well.
Tell me about your life, Jeremy. What's going on?
There's nothing going on. Don't you know this?
Okay, but make something up.
Oh, make something up. Okay, the other day I don't even have it in me to pretend that something is happening.
Shit. All right, I'm gonna punt over to our guest then. Ethan, make something up.
Make something up as to what's been going on for Jeremy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to hear what's going on in Jeremy's life, but from you.
Well, let's see. Jeremy's been breeding seahorses lately.
Ooh.
He has to keep it a secret though because
Yeah,
you know, like
thanks.
most things need a permit from the government.
Yes.
Well, he needs permission to breed seahorses, and you know that's not really allowed. But also, it's not something that we care enough about to really go after. So that's
Well,
what's
we
been
don't
going on.
we don't work for the government though, so
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool with us, and
Ju-
we like it that Jeremy is contributing to the ecosystem.
seahorses are a natural aphrodisiac. So if I go over there, Jeremy will definitely want to kiss me.
Did you know that it's illegal to buy a chicken?
To buy
Really?
a chicken, it's illegal.
I have a friend whose name I will not mention who would like to buy a chicken, and he is having trouble because it is apparently illegal and no place will sell him a live chicken.
Huh. Well, that's strange because when I was looking at the new apartment, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I have two animal illegal stories. When I was looking at the new apartment, we were trying to buy like a coffee table. So I saw this one table and it was called Chick Nick Table. And I didn't know what that meant, so I clicked on it, and the first picture was just a tiny table. But then when I scrolled right, there was a picture of that tiny table being overtaken by 4 gigantic chickens eating seed
For
off the
scale.
table. So chicknick apparently means chicken picnic table. So I messaged the woman and I said, is this still available and how many chickens come with it? And then she messaged me back and said, this is available, but I will not be parting with my chickens.
It's
Oh, no.
illegal. That would have been illegal if she had sold you the chickens.
How did she get the chickens?
And this was actually the big debate between me and my friend, is whether it's not illegal to buy a chicken in New Jersey. So the question, is it legal to go to New Jersey, buy a chicken, and come back with it?
Well, is it legal to go to Pennsylvania, buy fireworks, and come back down here? I don't, because it's either legal or illegal, and I don't know the answer.
It's a gray area.
There's no set laws for buying chickens in New Jersey and then coming to New York.
Anyway, nobody's allowed to go outside anymore, so my friend has put chicken buying on hold.
I went to Pennsylvania. Where did I go? Pennsylvania. That's where I went.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't have known. You have to tell the story.
And nobody stopped me. So you can, in fact, go at least there. So if they sell chickens, you might be in luck. I can't believe it's illegal to buy chickens, though. How does anybody in the state have chickens then?
I have no idea.
There are lots of farms in New York State, Jeremy.
They probably have a chicken permit.
I have another friend who
Like a seahorse permit.
has. I
Yeah,
have another
like a
friend who
seahorse
has
permit.
pet chickens, so I don't know. Here's the
Well-
here's the real. I know another person that has chickens, and they're like, yeah, you have to order them online, and they send you a box of several chickens, some of which will probably die on the way to getting to you. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
this is upsetting.
Poor chickens.
And that implies the possibility that all the chickens will die upon getting to you.
This seems like I always thought they would ship them in like one of those farm trucks.
No, just a box. So I've heard.
Is it like a cardboard box or is it like a chicken crate?
I didn't ask that closely. I was mostly asking. It's not actually someone I know very well. It's someone I kind of know that I was trying to find out how they own chickens so I could tell my.
Well, so hypothetically, and I'm only asking for a friend, right?
Yeah.
But if I was getting married to, my friend is getting married to his, it's a separate podcast, but the host of his podcast, and they want a lot of chickens at the wedding, as opposed to guests. What do you think the legal ramifications of that are?
Is it legal to rent chickens?
Well, that would imply that somebody has already bought the chickens, which is illegal.
You're right. There are farms on New York. I have no idea. Can I be honest with you? This might be a fake law that my friend made up, or does he?
This doesn't sound real.
Well,
I'm sure I could buy a chicken.
He said no. Well, he called up a bunch of places, and they kept being like, "I can't sell you that." And eventually, one place was like, "That's illegal. I can't sell you that." And he was like, "Oh."
Has he considered that maybe they were just trying to come up with excuses to cover up the fact that they're out of chickens?
They ordered a new shipment, but they all died in the box.
So instead of saying call back in a week, it's don't have any, and it's illegal for me to sell you. Never call me again.
Honestly, at my job, when people order things that are out of stock, I always tell them that they're out of stock, call back in a week, or I'll put you on the waiting list. But people get so angry. I don't know why.
So new business tactic for you, Oliver. Next time someone calls you asking about a product, say, it's actually illegal for me to sell you that.
It's actually illegal for me to sell you those chickens.
This is how drug dealers get by.
Yeah. Well, actually, drug dealers do sell you things that are illegal. They don't.
Well, yeah, but don't you think it would help them more if, like, they told you, like, sorry, it's illegal for me to sell you this?
Then they would never go to jail. Well, then they wouldn't be drug dealers. Do you guys know if it's legal to buy a ferret yet?
Yet? Are we waiting? I have no.
Don't people own ferrets as pets?
Well, I know several people who own ferrets as pets. One girl that I knew in high school tricked her boyfriend into buying a ferret for her. And then the ferret had to be pried out of her arms to be sent back to the pet store. So the pet store having them tells me that it is legal to buy a ferret, but I feel like everybody says it's illegal to have a ferret.
I think it might depend by the municipality.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with what Ethan said.
Because when Britt and I were apartment hunting, we saw another place that we kind of liked, and we asked them what the pet policy was. And the woman goes, well...
No ferrets!
That's pretty much
no
what
ferrets.
She said, actually.
Okay.
She goes, I used to have an open door pet policy, and then someone told me that they had 4 ferrets. And I said, I don't want any ferrets in my house. And they got very offended and said, ferrets are going to be the new dog. You just wait. Which I like.
Not.
The woman also didn't allow dogs in the place, so...
That is a bold statement.
So if ferrets are the new dog, then that means that they evolved from something much more ferocious.
Like a chicken.
Yeah. And chickens actually evolved from dinosaurs. We're bringing this discussion full circle here.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. So if I dressed up as a ferret, I would be dressing up as a dinosaur.
And that is illegal, and you can't do it. Sorry.
Exactly.
Cool.
If you would just get married to me, Jeremy, I could offer you immunity from the ferret law. So let's jump into it. Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. Let's get this let's start podcasting now.
Yep, I'm ready to go. Let's start the show. Ethan, you've seen the show. How do we start this show?
Oh, you know, we start the show by saying, "God damn it, hello."
Yep. I like this. I think from now on we should pretend in the middle of the show that we haven't started it yet.
Exactly. It's like a cold open.
Here, Jeremy, I'll let you start the show this time. Wait, did
Wow,
we
a
just do
cold
our-
open. What a concept. If only I think that we should do that sometimes.
Jeremy,
Yeah.
I'll
Have
let
you ever heard of a
start this one.
podcast having a cold open? It's genius. It's the future.
Jeremy tries to get me to do a cold open for this show every week, and usually the cold open turns into me saying, "Jeremy, I'll let you start this one." So let's give it a try. Ready, Jeremy?
Well,
I'll let you start.
the two most common Oliver cold opens are, Jeremy, do you have anything to start the show with? And look, Jeremy, I'm not starting with the words that I always start with.
No, sometimes I say, "God damn it, hello."
But that's not a cold open.
Well,
That's why I said the common cold opens.
warm open, I guess.
Yeah, that's just the opening. That's the beginning.
I had a
of the
dream
show.
about a cold open for the podcast a couple weeks ago, but I forgot it. So,
Oh no.
but it was a great idea too.
I'm so glad that I know about it now.
Yeah, but let's jump into it. Ethan, tell me a little bit about what you do, the music that you make, and tell me your tale.
My tale. All right. Well, I make music, and I mean, on the surface, that's really it. But I'm a multi instrumentalist. I record all the music myself. I produce it myself, albeit not great. I write the music. I don't know if I said that already. And yeah, I do a lot of stuff with it. I like performing it. I have a lot of music friends, and I tell my tales through music. I have a few albums out now on Spotify and Bandcamp, along with other streaming services. And I have
How can we find
another
those?
one. Yeah, I will send you a link to that later, but they're mostly on Bandcamp. But I have another
Under the name
album.
Ethan Teper, right? Yes?
Yes, under the name Ethan Teper. And currently in the making, I have another album by the name of When This Is All Over. It's going to be a coronavirus-themed concept album for the most part. There's going to be some other stuff thrown in there.
Did you write it during coronavirus?
Yes, the stuff on this coming album is written mainly from the beginning of the pandemic until now.
In genre-wise, what can we expect from the album?
Well, most of my albums, the common element is there's a lo-fi aesthetic. But aside from that, stylistically, it's all over the place. I write poppy music, I write heavy music, stuff that's like soft, stuff that's like experimental, crazy. But for this album, I want to say that it's going to be like a 60-40 split between like total downers, like really depressing music, and stuff with really like this. Like, I don't want to say twisted or dark, but there's going to be a lot of black comedy elements on it. So I think you would like it a lot in particular.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm excited about it. I actually just listened to. I was doing an edit right actually after we moved in here, and I put on some of the old stuff that's still on your YouTube channel. I had a great time with that.
Yeah, I think you're going to have an even better time with this. And the thing I sent you earlier, the WAV file, the song is called Rebel Road. It's actually something that I wrote during that era in high school, but never really came to fruition until now.
Nice. Actually, I was going to ask you guys this. When do you think we should play? I want to definitely play that in the final cut of this. Is this song off of the album?
Yes, it's
Okay.
going to be on the album.
Okay. So it's called. You introduce it, and we'll cue it up.
All right. Well, stylistically, this is a pastiche of blues rock, and I think I might have actually played a very early version of it to Jeremy when I initially wrote it. But yeah, it's called Rebel Road.
Rebel Road by Ethan Teper, and we'll play it now. Paying All right, and Jeremy, when we're back, I'm gonna count you in, and you leave all of this in.
Yeah,
As part of.
I
the
asked you
humor,
not to do that.
Part of the humor of the ready? Okay, right, here we go. 3 and 2 and a squiggly do. You go.
That was a good song.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like the part where
where Ethan sang.
that part. I like the part that it'll make more sense in the edit. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll come together later.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Oh, thank you, and I really do love whenever we get to hear you play.
I love Ethan's music.
You know, I love the music that you make, and I'm really really psyched that we get to put it on the show.
Yeah, it'll be the premiere.
My favorite Ethan music story is one that Jeremy always tells, about Ethan playing the piano. You know the story.
Oh, was this for smoked mozzarella?
What?
Was this?
I'm not sure if I know this story.
Was this-
Let's wait. Tell the story.
Was this?
Yeah,
on
Jeremy, tell the story.
Smoked
What?
mozzarella.
I've
What?
used your piano a few times.
Yeah. So Ethan, I have a keyboard that Ethan sometimes borrows to record his music. And if this is not the story you're talking about, I have no idea.
It's not, but go ahead.
Great. On Smoked Mozzarella, there's a part of the song where the music kind of gets chaotic, and then you yell at yourself for being bad at playing the instruments.
Yeah.
You recorded the piano for that first. You borrowed my piano, and I remember that very vividly because you actually messed up, and then you hit a bunch of random notes, and then went, you know what, fuck it, and then you kept playing.
Yeah. I really did not feel like doing that over, considering it's an almost 10-minute long track of honestly the same thing. I do a lot of things minimalistically, and that involves, repetition, a lot of repeated chord progressions. Honestly, I probably could have edited that in some way, but
No,
at the time I didn't know how to.
It's got charm. I like it like that, and I don't know if it's just because I was there at the idea's inception. But I don't know. It's got charm to me.
Well, I think Ethan's music has a lot of personality behind it, and that's part of why.
One of the things I like most about Ethan's music, I'm sure I said this to Ethan, I can always tell that you like making your music. This has become less of a thing the older we've gotten and the more people have become musicians. But you've always enjoyed making your music, and I've found that is not as prevalent in some young people's music that young people make.
Well, like making making music that you enjoy making, as opposed to making music because you're contractually bound to making it, right?
No, because I'm talking about like
make
when we were in high school, people that we went to high school with. No one we went to high school with was contractually obligated to make the music that they made. I don't know. They took it too seriously and didn't seem to enjoy it. And I still think I know a couple people that do it like that, but I don't know.
So you mean like stressing themselves out over like practicing, getting everything right, as opposed to just enjoying yourself with it.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean that goes with any kind of art, even what we do. You can always tell when somebody comes on and doesn't want to be here. You can always tell when somebody is making something similar to us and doesn't want to do it. And I think you can also always tell when we don't want to do it. Which
I hope not.
Well, I usually want to do it 95% of the time. And then there's that 5% of the time where I say I'm tired, but I'm going to keep pushing because really I love doing this. And ultimately, I do actually want to do this. I'm just in a funk. Yeah. But that's the thing. If you're not having fun, neither is the audience, and neither are the people that are digesting the content that you make. And I think especially when you're making art.
I mean, fun is kind of like a weird way to put it. I didn't want to say fun because is the possibility that something you're doing is not intended for fun.
Sure, but I think it's about caring about what you're doing versus making something that you think is a statement or reflects you in some kind of way.
Yes.
I've made a lot of things that are not comedy that I look back and I don't like them, and at the time I thought they were so great. And I've made a lot of things that are comedy and I just don't think are great anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's always the things that we had a great time doing and making that I look back on really fondly and that I pick to be in things and to show people.
Yeah. I always feel like my opinion of it is skewed because I always associate things with, I liked making this, so.
Yeah, I mean, I make music for myself before anyone else. And, admittedly, there are audible mistakes in my music. You can hear it on the recordings I have put out, and you will hear it with the album that I'm going to put out. I managed to get away with it a little bit, though, because of the whole lo-fi aesthetic. But although I do try my best to, hide the mistakes. But regardless, I mean, I'm not trying to get famous off of this. I'm not trying to make shit tons of money. I'm not in any rush to get like recognized by anyone. My belief is that anything you make is art, whether it's good or bad or however it is. You're not going to have a good time if your only goal in producing art is to make money off of it. You're going to stress yourself out, and it's not going to work.
That's also not true. I mean, even if your goal is to put out a false impression of yourself, that's not truthfully what the artistic process is.
Yeah, exactly. You should appreciate what you're making and enjoy what you're doing before anything else, in my opinion.
And that was always our approach, even like when we made videos forever ago that were like dumb. And, we've made, like, I'll take the upload wealth on the channel, which everybody here was in. The approach to that was, let's make a dumb video, but at the same time, in the edit and even in making it, I approached it as if I was making something real, because it is something real, even if the concept is stupid and there's a shit ton of continuity errors and not really a script.
It is visibly nonsense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I like a lot of, I like that about like your guys' videos too, is I think, we share that in common with what we put out, is that, there's a lot of nonsense, and we acknowledge that, the world is full of chaos, and oftentimes you have no control over it. So you have no choice except to just look at it and laugh. That's all you can do.
Wow.
That.
Yeah, that was nice.
Something that I've always liked about the music that Ethan makes is that growing up, Ethan was able to teach himself to play any instrument. And I've always been incredibly jealous of that as somebody with zero musical talent.
As somebody with a fraction of Ethan's musical talent, I have also always been very jealous of that. But,
Well, the trade-off is that since I haven't received professional instruction in these instruments, it's not always as good as someone else might have it.
Well, but the point is, we once saw you sit down and figure out how to play a piano, I could never do that in a million years. I could never do that. And as somebody who I self-taught in everything that I do, and that's what I do for a living now, I really admire that. That's the way to be.
Yeah.
Also, I'd really like to one day be able to play any instrument other than the clarinet. I'll never play the clarinet again.
Ah, yes. We were in 7th grade band together.
Did you play the clarinet or no?
No, I played second trumpet.
Second trumpet. I'm surprised you remember like the position. I don't know.
So like, if you've ever played in an orchestra, like, there's like each instrument has like kind of a different like number attached to it that kind of denotes the level of difficulty, or like the I guess the range of pitch that you're going to be playing. So I played second trumpet, which is like the less difficult variation of trumpet, but still I just hated playing trumpet so much. Like other instruments, like guitar, you can pluck it with the strings, and like percussion, you like bang on it, like use your hands. The woodwind instruments like clarinet, you blow into it. Brass, you have to apply the mouthpiece and make a vibration with your lips. I can't even do it now. It gets painful after a while.
Yeah, don't imagine it's fun. I also did clarinet, for reference sake. Did I ever tell you about? I played the clarinet only in 4th grade. Did I ever tell you about the 4th grade concert?
What was the 4th grade concert?
About the 4th grade concert.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, the clarinet is an instrument that requires a reed. It's basically just like this piece of wood that you put on the mouthpiece that vibrates, and that's where the sound comes from. That combined with the like everything else, day of the concert, my last reed has broken.
Yes, because the reeds splinter, and then you need a new one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the process, is that they you need to replace them. but I only had one left. And the year was almost over, so I didn't buy new ones, and it broke like an hour before the concert. And I was like, well, this sucks. So I went over to everybody I knew that played an instrument that also required a reed, and I was like, hey, do you have like a spare one I can use? And of course, because it's a thing you put in your mouth, everyone was like, no, I don't. So my fourth grade concert, I stood up there and I pretended to play the clarinet.
I also pretended to play the clarinet at my fifth grade concert.
I did not tell my
any
parents
songs.
about this. They thought I was playing the whole time.
Nice. I hope Julie listens.
Amazing. I mean, sort of similar, but I was in guitar ensemble, and with the advanced students, they like to do a sort of rock band setup and open up the talent show. So I did that in junior year, except I was playing my acoustic guitar and it wasn't plugged in. So essentially you couldn't hear anything.
Wouldn't it be great if, I mean, I'm sure you weren't the only kid that ever pretended to play, and Ethan made an honest mistake, and I just pretended to play because I didn't know the songs. Wouldn't it be great if the whole band one day just got up there and didn't know how to play their instrument?
That would be wonderful.
Silence.
You could pass it off. This is our performance of 3 minutes and 44 seconds.
4 minutes and 33 seconds.
4 minutes and 33 seconds. Damn it.
What's that? I don't know that.
That's the John Cage piece.
It's a John Cage piece, which is essentially he doesn't play music.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a piece for solo piano in which the performer is instructed to sit at the bench and not play anything for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. The idea is that the ambiance of the environment is the music. And it's part of this movement in modernist thought called chance music, in which the performer is in control of the musical elements. They've done things like this where, it's like, I can't even begin, like playing random objects as instruments, or like making a movement that's dependent on like something that's occurring in the audience. There's audience participation in this. I was in the experimental music group last year, and admittedly we didn't really do anything too much with this. It was really just like playing random notes, banging on stuff without really putting much thought into it. But we structured our performances around these pre-recorded statements that each one of us gave about ants.
Huh.
And initially my quote was, "They conquer my rug." But when we actually got around to recording these quotes, I think I like forgot the idea, and mine ended up being, "It's not funny anymore." So I don't know. I think "They Conquer My Rug" would have been really much better. But basically, we were performing our interpretation of what that meant without looking at any kind of notated score,
obviously.
or just going entirely off of nonverbal cues.
It's not for me. It's things like this always to me seem like they're more interesting to think about in concepts than to actually listen to as music.
I agree with you somewhat.
Most obviously shown in 4 minutes 33 seconds, because you're not really listening.
You could also just say that the band is playing a piece written for guitar, as the band is made of brass and wood.
I mean, a year or two ago, I saw the percussion ensemble, and for their final piece, they did something by John Zorn, who is also like part of that chance music movement, and they explained it to us that they had a randomly shuffled pile of signs that each had a symbol on it, and the symbol represented a different thing. And they told us, like, hey, if we hold up this sign, then you need to like stand up and shout or something. And there were like people throwing their mallets across the room. I don't know. It's crazy to think about.
Interesting. I don't know, man.
I bet I could record some of that. I could do it.
Yeah,
You just tell me.
you could
I can do
be
anything.
a musician if you just pretend. If you just say that your music is extremely experimental,
You could be anything if you just pretend.
This is specifically to
Exactly.
Oliver. This advice doesn't work. Specifically to Oliver, because Oliver, you were saying that you would like to know how to play an instrument. So if you don't and you just hit random things, you could say that it's experimental. And I feel like that is an insult to the movement, and I apologize.
I don't know. I've always
Cut
felt
off-
like
hold on, wait.
you need to put thought into it.
Jeremy cut off on you could, and then it was silent on my end, and then it tuned back into just I apologize. So I guess I'll never know how I'm gonna become a musician.
It would take a lot of apologizing, is all you need to know, I guess.
I get, just like everything else that I do. Just like our friendship, Jeremy.
You never apologized to me.
No, that's true, but I probably owe you a couple by now.
Has Oliver ever apologized to you, Ethan? And now is the time to bring up anything you wish he would apologize for, but hasn't.
Go ahead, let me have it.
You
Go
know,
on.
the thing is, I don't know if I've done anything that warrants an apology.
No, Oliver has done
No,
things.
I
For
apologize to you.
Oliver, yeah, no.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not-
what you. Oh, well, hold on. Let me.
Okay, wait a minute. I mixed up the question.
Hold on. Let me get started then, if that's what you meant. Oh, you can't see on the camera. I pulled up a book and I opened it.
Nice. Go ahead, hit me. What have I done to you?
I don't know. I can't think of something that warrants an apology from you.
Well, this is the only time I'm going to ask who needs an apology, and if you need one, I will give it now and now only.
What's the
But it
best
must
one
be
to
well
choose?
thought out. Jeremy's got a whole book, and I'm very.
These pages are blank. This is supposed to be a book for me to write songs in, but
this is
unlike
supposed to
Ethan,
be a
I don't
book
know how
for me
to.
put insults from my friend Oliver.
Unlike
Yeah, see,
Ethan, I
what you
don't know
need
how to
to.
write music.
Well, yeah, you're writing it in a book. I write everything on my phone.
I don't know
I
why
don't
you
see,
dropped
see
my
how that would
pen,
make a
Jeremy.
difference.
You
I don't either.
Well, okay.
I do have a book though, but in that I write my show reviews in it like a diary.
Nice. I've got a book.
I do
It's
have
a-
stuff on my phone written down of song titles that I've thought of that I'd like to make into songs one day. I haven't written
Technically,
anything.
I have a
Oh,
sketchbook
I-
of things that I want to shoot, but it usually turns into me writing down abstract ideas rather than drawing the things that I want to shoot. And then I have a whole notepad full of ideas to shoot, and some just ideas for my real life. This note just says, "You ludicrous fools." Don't know what it means, but I want to start saying it in my day-to-day life. Moving
I've showed
on.
you all my list of album titles and band names, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yes, Ethan also makes a lot of lists.
Yes.
A lot of lists in his time.
Lists.
One day
I
I'd
like,
like
to keep
to
track
go.
of things.
I'd like to do an episode where we go through those things.
Here's
The
a
lists?
note. It says Bob Einstein's last routine. I don't know who that is. I don't know what he's doing. But
Well, I wanted a designated episode one day where we go through notes on our notepad, but Oliver has decided that it is today.
it is this episode. Here's a list of people's names written down with one of these emojis next to them. And coincidentally, the first two names are Jeremy and Ethan.
Hey!
Hey!
I wonder what I was trying. The next name is Dad. So I don't know who this is a list of or what I got you guys to do, but I guess it worked out.
I have a
Perfect.
lot of songs that one day I would like to write.
That's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I've got a notebook.
I don't remember what most of these things are supposed to mean. Like, I have one written down here that just says lawnmower, and I don't know what that was supposed to be.
The song's supposed to have a lawnmower solo in it.
I like that better than whatever it was supposed to be.
Oh, I know a song that has a lawnmower solo in it.
See, this is fun to me because there's like eras where you can see clearly the type of thing that I was really into. Like, for example, here's 3 song titles in a row that are absolutely not song titles. But here's 3 things in a row. I'm fucking starving, but I'm really not in the mood for blood right now. And then in parentheses, it's from the perspective of a vampire.
Nice.
And then the next one is all these guys are vampires and I'm not, and I can't let them find out. And then the next one is yes, and then the next one is I'd love to have some blood right now, but it just doesn't seem appropriate. These are not song titles.
It sounds like you're writing for a vampire-themed front bottoms cover band.
Dracula musical.
Say that again, Oliver?
Dracula musical.
This one I wrote down really recently. I wrote Square Man is dead, Hair Man remains.
I like that.
I don't know what it is.
I will help you write that.
Does that need to be a song? Can we make that?
No, I would like to help you write that.
I would love for you to help me write that.
Square Man is dead, Hair Man remains. Square Man is dead, Hair Man remains.
That was recent, and I don't remember what it was supposed to mean. Would you like more?
Told you guys the story of how I got a trumpet one time?
Sure.
I was thinking about this when Ethan said that he played the trumpet. It didn't seem to be a good time to bring it up, but now is the time that I've changed the subject of the conversation entirely. One time I was with our friend Josh, and we were walking and doing nothing. And then we walked past this house, right? And this woman, like right as we were coming up by the door, not that we were going in, we were walking past her house, but this woman like comes running out onto her porch and yells back in. She goes, "I've had it with this thing. That's enough." And she took a trumpet and she threw it all the way to the end of her lawn. And then she went in her house and she slammed the door. So I picked the trumpet up and I took it home. And then I had the trumpet for like a month and a half.
You stole this trumpet from this woman?
She had had enough. She'd had it with this thing. She basically gave it to me.
I don't think that's what happened.
Oh, jeez.
I don't think she was giving away a trumpet.
I'm pretty sure she was throwing the trumpet out.
I think worst case scenario, that was somebody else's trumpet that lives in that house.
Oh no. Did I steal somebody's trumpet?
I'm just saying,
oh god.
Man.
Oh,
trumpet thief.
This is years ago. I'm sure I've repented by now, but
I'm sure the statute of limitations is
I
up.
thought like the trumpet was tearing apart their home, and so they threw it out.
That could have also been what happened. I will not. I will concede that I don't know.
What do you think possesses someone to become so angry that they must throw the trumpet in the opposite direction of their home immediately?
Possessed by the devil. I have no idea.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I hope I didn't steal this trumpet. That's honestly never occurred to me as a possibility for this. I was going to say this instrument, but
literally the first thing that occurred to me is, oh, this is like someone else in the house that lives here, and they play the trumpet, and it's annoying.
Playing the trumpet and won't leave her alone. Then I did a good thing.
Depends on whose perspective.
From this woman's perspective, now she doesn't need to hear this trumpet anymore because
I was in
the right place at the right time, and now I'm the trumpeter.
Do you think, now alternatively, do you think that this woman waited for someone to be walking past her house so that maybe that person will pick up and steal the trumpet and
she saw my dumbass walk down the street and said, "This is the fucking guy.
This chump
doing nothing on my street.
Take a trumpet.
Take a trumpet, why don't you?" You know what story has the same energy as that, but isn't that?
What?
No.
one time Jeremy and I and JJ filmed a video called Totally Real Suicide Maybe.
God.
And we bought a fake gun
Oh yes,
from Walmart.
I remember this.
Oh yeah, Ethan was there. We bought a fake gun, and I had it in the house, in my parents' house. And my dad came up and said, "Is this a real gun?" And I said, "No, Dad, it's a fake gun." And he said, "This looks real. I gotta hold this." So he took the gun, and he was planning, I'm sure, on confiscating it so he wouldn't have a real gun, which is smart, except it was a fake gun. And then he brought the gun over to the door, I guess so he didn't have to shoot the gun inside in case it was real. And he fired the fake gun twice, but he aimed it directly at my neighbor's
he
house.
opened the door, he pointed the gun outside, and he fired it twice
Oh, no.
outside.
Oh God.
Luckily, it was a fake gun, but if
that was a real loaded gun,
that would have been
what
it.
would your father have
Very
done?
bad.
What
Would've
was
been
the
very bad.
plan for him?
And another story about my dad that has the same energy. One time, Jeremy and I went to I won't say it wasn't Wingstop because the place is a local thing. So I'll say it's Wingstop so we don't get doxxed. But we went to a Wingstop and we got a big container of wings and we brought them to my parents' house. And my dad has like certain things that he is very averse to like people enjoying. One of them being wings because they're very unhealthy for you. So he came up and he saw the container which had enough wings for 2 people in them. And he said, "Wings? You can't eat this many wings. There must be a dozen wings in here," which is the normal amount. And there were probably a dozen wings in there. But I said, "Yeah, we're going to eat these wings." So my dad goes and he leaves. And then he came back a little bit later. He kept like circling us. Like he would walk around the house, do something, and then come back.
Waiting
So he
for us
comes
to
back
drop
and he
dead
goes,
from too many wings.
"What?"
Waiting for us to drop dead from too many wings.
Yes, exactly.
Like a fucking vulture.
He comes back. He goes, "Wings, huh? You can't have this many wings. There must be 24 wings in here." Then he came back a third time. And this time the number there must be 36 wings.
The wings just keep on coming.
How many wings do there have to be before my son doesn't eat them?
If I tell him there's a certain number, he'll decide that he can't have any of them.
Yeah, one of my last nights in college, we went to wing night for my roommate's birthday, and I ate 20 wings in one sitting because they were $1 each.
Wow, you must have had 24 wings, huh?
Yeah, I had over 24. Well, no, not over 24.
Just under.
I nearly had 24 wings.
Wow.
That's the thing is I always feel like wings aren't filling, so I feel like I could eat that many and not even care.
Wings are an easy food to lose track of. I don't personally get into wings because I don't really like having sauce on food that I have to eat with my hands.
It was
part of the fun,
sauce.
making a mess. It's part of the fun.
Well, maybe for you, but I don't like to make a mess because I'm still afraid that my dad will come and yell at me as an adult.
I had to excuse myself to the bathroom twice just to wash my hands from all the sauce.
Damn.
Oof.
The sauce is just overwhelming.
Sometime Ethan and I were at a Buffalo Wild Wings and we got wings and they got our order wrong. Didn't you like this story that I just told you?
Yes. No, actually, this is a pretty amazing story because not only did they get our order wrong.
They got it wrong twice, actually.
Yes, they got it wrong twice, and our waitress quit that same night in the middle of our order.
Yeah.
Rough.
She brought out. We asked for boneless wings because we just didn't want bone-in wings. So she brought out bone-in wings, and we were debating like, what do we do about this? Because boneless wings were cheaper. So like, I don't care. I'll eat these, but I'm not paying.
I want to pay for the boneless.
Yeah, I want to pay for what I ordered.
Right.
So we say something to the waiter, and she is like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and she takes the wings back and brings us new ones, which were still the wrong sauces, but nobody cared enough to make a big deal. And then she just like, at one point she came back later and she seemed really beaten up about it, and we were like, "Hey, don't worry about it." And she was like, "No, it's fine. I'm quitting tonight, so don't." Like,
Bro.
oh, cool.
I think that has to be my most memorable B-dubs experience.
What you guys didn't know was she actually owned that location, and you made her change whole life.
Oh no.
That was it.
Well,
One time,
That was
Jeremy
when-
the
and
manager brought us the manager brought us the bill, so I guess maybe there might have been a change of hands.
I've had that before. I was at a Friendlies once, and the waiter took our order and then quit, but like didn't do anything about it. So my family just sat there for like a really long time before a manager came over and was like, "Hey, wait a minute. Were you being waited by this person? They literally walked out. I'll take
One
over."
time, Jeremy and I went to a Friendlies, and I'll admit it was kind of a dick move because we went right before they closed. But there were still people in there, or else we wouldn't have gone in. And the service was so comically bad that you would think that the person serving us actually did not work there and just walked in to try to make the tip.
He seemed so disinterested in serving us. I've never
Well,
seen
first of
him
all-
more actively want to not serve somebody.
First of all, he started by running past our table, like running, and putting the menus down before coming back to us. Then when he did come back, he's like, "All right, what?"
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll have, so we ordered, and he goes, "Yeah, okay." And he walked away, and then he came back, and he had the wrong food, right? So
Yeah.
what did he do wrong? He did something wrong.
I don't remember the details. I remember that
Jeremy-
I
Oh, man.
accidentally ordered the wrong thing, so I don't completely blame him for bringing the wrong
Okay,
thing.
well, then that one's not his fault, but he did make a mistake twice. So then before we're done eating, and he brought us dessert menus, right? And we ordered I fucked this up. Before we were done eating, he came and gave us the check, but it was before bringing us the dessert menu.
Right, before even asking if we wanted dessert, he just brought us the check.
And then
Dang.
he ran away. Like physically ran.
Yeah, he did not want to be serving us today.
I thought it was so funny. He goes, "Yeah, what?"
Yeah, that's hilarious.
All right, before we wrap up the podcast, I do want to do the plugs really quick. Yeah, we got to plug stuff. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, PodRocket, and more. Pretty much anywhere that you could listen to a podcast, we are there, except for SoundCloud. I do promise to fix that one day. Or you can watch the usually multi-camera version of the show on YouTube. Also in the description, you will find links to Ethan's Spotify page. When does the new album come out?
Doesn't have a release date yet. Doesn't have a release date yet, but anticipating it to be released sometime midsummer.
Awesome. So sometime midsummer, Ethan's new album will be out, but I'll leave the links to his Spotify and his YouTube page and whatever else he feels I should leave down there as well. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram at Oliver the Ricketts for Instagram and Oliver the Ricketts Director for Facebook. And this week I will be on the Voodoo Water TV podcast. That's a live podcast. Actually, at the time that this comes out, I think I've done it. I said that last week, but I think at this point I've already done it. So if that's the case, thank you to Alex from Voodoo Water TV for having me. I'm sure it was an awesome show. Again, I haven't actually recorded it. That'll go up later.
Cool.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Ethan, if you were to end the podcast, how would you do it?
Well,
your ideal ending.
the show is ending on a note that is high, But now I must say, gosh darn it, goodbye.
Oh shit!
Ethan
That's
wrote us a
really-
little poem. Wow. Huh. That's nice.
Fuck. We have a catchphrase that we say, but I really like that. So normally we say "good riddance to you."
Good riddance to you.
Good riddance to
yeah,
you. Yeah.
good riddance to you. But I like that better. So ready? Everybody say it together. Ready? 3, 2, skiddly do. The show is. Say it,
The
Jeremy.
show is ending
show
show is
on a
ending.
note that
On a
is
note
high.
that is high.
But now I
Now
must
I
say,
say-
So I must say,
gosh,
Gosh darn it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
good riddance to you.
Good
Good
riddance.
riddance to you.